My name is Andrew Crandall, and welcome to another episode of Journey Through a Lonely Planet. Now, today's episode, we're going to talk about a song that's kind of has a very interesting past. It's called Slipping Backwards. Now, Slipping Backwards is a song written from the guy's perspective that is kind of realizing that he's going through life and he's hiding, like, hiding from the world who he really is. He's living behind a mask, and he's like he feels like he's slipping into a persona that he doesn't want to become. And the chorus is, somebody help me, I'm slipping backwards. Somebody save me, I'm slipping away. And so this song was kind of like, I kind of poured a lot, even like, as a lot of us know, as we grow older, we realize that we can't always be as honest about our intentions or as honest about our feelings or whatever, because we don't know how people are going to react. And so a lot of us we live behind these masks. And I was kind of pouring that feeling that I had, because even myself, like, I feel like I couldn't always be open with people and with what was going on in my life. And so I kind of poured a lot of that frustration into this song. Now, the original arrangement was pretty simple. I had, again, my friend John Babbitts record the drums, and then I had one guitar, the main guitar. I had a second guitar for the chorus, and also the bass guitar. And then the vocals, I think I had 3 vocals going on. I had the main vocal, I had a layer vocal for the chorus, and then I also had a harmony that would come in once in a while. And it was pretty basic. And another thing, too, is interesting is that I decided to, in that particular one, is not do a guitar solo, because my original way I would do stuff was I would have an intro, verse, chorus, guitar solo, breakdown, verse, chorus. And the original version, I originally just went straight through. And so when I was reinventing it, I decided to add a breakdown and guitar solo. So when we're getting to the new version, and one thing too, with that first version, I honestly didn't like it. I was very unhappy with it. I mean, it came out okay, but I was kind of frustrated because I felt the song had so much more potential than it reached at that point. And so when I was looking at redoing it, I really needed some help. And at that time, I was sending my songs out to Mike Nelson to mix them. But at that time, I think Mike was he also does a lot of professional work for other labels and other companies, and so he was kind of booked. He had a big project. I don't remember what it was, but he was kind of slow to get to my stuff, because basically he would get to my stuff when he had spare time. And of course he gave me a good deal at the time, so I wasn't really complaining. I was like, okay, I'll wait. But I was getting a little frustrated because it was taking them so long. So I started researching, okay, maybe I just need to learn how to mix myself. And so I did a lot of research, and I came across this guy named Graham Cochrane. Graham has this great YouTube channel and also a website called recordingrevolution.com. And I would spend, when I discovered him, I spent hours just listening to him. I would actually, listen to him on my bus ride to work, or on my way home, or, when I had downtime, I was listening to him and watching how he was teaching how to mix and learning about the frequencies and how different instruments have how they work really well in certain certain frequencies. And I was learning about compression, how to properly use compression, and how to use all these different, tricks to make my mixes sound better. And so, with that, I was learning how to really make my stuff sound better. And so this is kind of a really good example of, let's say you've got a song and you see the potential, but it's just not getting there. And I'm sure a lot of you have kind of hit that plateau where the song is just hit something, and you're really, really frustrated with that it's not quite going where you want it to go. And there's sometimes, some people will just drop it and move on to the next song. But sometimes you got to do is actually just press through, and you just got to, okay, I got to work on this. I got to work on this. And this is one of those songs where I literally had to work on to make this song better. And so I kind of experimented with a lot of things when I was learning how to mix. So with the new arrangement I have now is that I have, like, I kind of still stuck with the traditional recording method of guitar. I was just my Black Star amp and a microphone in front and run it through my 2 preamp. Because I wasn't doing like the reamping, and I wasn't doing the amp modeling stuff in the computer like I did with like Bleeding Within and other songs. Because this one I wasn't really, the guitars wasn't as important to me as the drums. Like the drum was more the driving force of the song. And so I was learning from Graham how to arrange. So I was trying different things. I was experimenting. So like I put a couple synths and pads in it that I didn't do before in my original, and which was kind of added more of a spacey type of like vibe, and also too like I kind of had stumbled across a couple things that were kind of fun, like during the guitar solo. I actually added a harmony guitar, which it's a little bit more subtle in the mix, the final mix right now. But I kind of added like this kind of a dueling type of thing that's kind of to add more interest. And another thing too is because Graham talked a lot about when you're arranging music to always have something interesting going on. Like, make sure that your first verse doesn't that your second verse doesn't sound exactly like your first verse. Like your second verse, add something slightly different, do something slightly different, so that the listener, the modern listener, I should say, has always got something that captures their attention, so that keeps their interest, so they would listen to your song. So I was trying a lot of different things to do that, and one of the things I did was the final verse. Because originally I had go to the breakdown into the guitar solo, and then went to the verse 3 and the final choruses. And what I decided to do is, and I think I saw Graham do something like this. Was what I decided to do is I cut out the drums completely, and then I had like the 2 guitars that were the stereo guitars going, but I put on a flanger effect on them, and then added a kind of effect to my voice, and basically it was just the 2 guitars in my voice for the first half of that verse to kind of add like this dynamic. It was kind of an interesting, and also like a big music, something it's like a strip down, and then it kicks back in to the rest of the verse. And so that was kind of the stuff that I was, really working on. And this is the reason why I tell you this, is because this is like, one of those cases, like, because a lot of times people think that music just happens. Like, you guys, I got the inspiration and poof, there it is. When the reality is, especially if you talk to professional writers, that they have to work at it. They really do. They have to work at it to make that song really, really great. It doesn't always happen that way. Like for me, like I have actually some of my favorite songs are some songs I've recorded 4 to 5 times, and I've tried different variations, and I tried different arrangements to get it to be where it's just amazing, where it's just really good. But it took that time and effort to make it really, really good. So with that, let's take a look at Slipping Backwards.
When I wake up in the morning, dark clouds still cover my eyes. I've been living in the shadows of this failing disguise. All I want to be is free and go back to the man I used to be. Somebody help me, I'm slipping backwards. Somebody save me, I'm slipping away. Somebody help me, I'm slipping backwards. Somebody save me, I'm slipping away. The walls keep coming down.
And like I said before, this song was actually one of the first songs that I was experimenting on when it comes to me learning how to properly mix and to arrange my music. So I was doing a lot of experimentation on my own before I did eventually send it out to Mike, but I needed that process. I needed that to experiment and understand like how the frequencies worked in different instruments and how the compression worked and limiting and all those different things. And this song was like my first attempt at learning how. And so I did a lot of experimenting, which was a lot of fun, and just really learned my software better, and also just really had a deeper understanding how, to properly write music in a modern context where people hear music all the time. So you got to find ways to make it more interesting and more unique to them, rather than repeating yourself, and rather than just repeating the same motifs. So this was a lot of fun in that aspect. And it's, like I said before, this is one of the earlier songs that I worked on the album when I was reinventing it. And so again, I only have one track for the drums. So I've got the synths. I got during the first, through the verses, I got the Formant Vox sweep kind of underplaying the music, kind of creating a little bit of atmosphere. And then when the chorus comes in, I got the robot readout, kind of giving a vibrotic type of movement to music. And also it had this really cool Lost in Trance lead, kind of adding to that little bit of spacey type of vibe, which I really liked. Again, what's different about this one is that I did, added the synths, but also added like these 3-part harmonies, and I really liked how these harmonies came out. I kind of worked on them. I even actually, what I added, which was really fun, is I recorded one when I go, "Somebody help me, somebody save me," and instead of singing the full line. And what I did is I turned down the main vocals and actually put a delay on it, so it basically goes, "Somebody help me," and also you hear, "Help me, somebody save me, save me." So it's really kind of a cool effect that I had Mike put in as well, and that was a lot of fun. So again, with the guitar solo and breakdown, I had a little bit of fun, where I kind of created this kind of a dueling guitar. Now, in the final mix, the harmony guitar is really pulled down. You barely hear it, but it is there to kind of add more of a texture to the solo. But it was just a lot of fun kind of writing this solo. It was just, the first part kind of came out of nowhere, and it just kind of found this pocket that I really liked, and then adding the harmony guitars just really kind of made it a lot more interesting, a lot more fun for me.
When I wake up in the morning, dark clouds still cover my eyes. I've been living in the shadows of this failing disguise. All I want to be is free, and go back to the man I used to be. Somebody help me, I'm slipping backwards. Somebody save me, I'm slipping away. Somebody help me, I'm slipping backwards. Somebody save me, I'm slipping away. With every passing day, I'm trying to recall, when did I go?
Okay, so I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope as I've been opening up my life and my workflow that you can find out, even if it's just a nugget of truth or nugget of information that helps you to improve your projects or to help you get past that hump or whatever, that it helps you. Because I know as an artist, a lot of times we can get stuck in what we're doing, or we can get stuck, we hit a plateau, or we hit that wall where we don't know what to do with our songs, or we don't know what to do with our current projects, and we get frustrated and aggravated, and and it's just, sometimes it's hard to see outside it, but sometimes it's always good to find other resources and other people to see how they've done it and find inspiration in that. So I hope that this is what this video is for you. I do kind of want to say something when it comes to being an artist, and especially working with a micro budget, because a lot of us are working 9-to-5 jobs, and we have just a tiny little bit of money that we can put towards what we're doing. And a lot of us, I know personally of many friends of mine who are just really talented, but a lot of times they get stuck, or they won't allow themselves to go any further because they don't have the right equipment. Like I remember working in the film industry that everybody was saying, oh, you really shouldn't do that project unless you've got the right camera, or you've got this camera, you got the Genesis, which I don't know if Genesis even exists anymore, but unless you got this high-end HD camera, or you're shooting in 4K or now 8K, and and like there's all these different people saying you can't unless you have this or this and this. And I say, screw that. I say, like, you know what? Like, if you're first starting out, get the stuff as inexpensive as you can, without compromising quality, and develop the skills that you need in order to handle that good equipment. Because I'll tell you the truth is that when I worked in the industry, I saw people shooting on super high-end cameras, and the stuff looked like complete crap, complete garbage. Then I would also see someone who would take a very low-budget camera and it would just blow it out of the water. It would be like so superior. This is not about the equipment. It's about the skills that you are having, the skills that you are developing right now. So don't get so entrapped into the mindset that you always need to buy the high-end equipment. I am actually kind of in the middle of the road where I actually spend more money on my gear and on my guitars. Like I don't spend $100. I spend more like about $300. I always get the mid-level guitars. I always get the decent level computers. I always get decent level preamps or whatever. So I don't get the cheapest stuff, but I don't get the most expensive. I'm just kind of in the middle of the road because I feel that's where I'm at. That's the quality that I need for right now. So take that for what it's worth. I really hope that kind of helps you. Like, just work with what you got or what you can afford and develop the skills, because the skills are more valuable in the long run than the equipment. Because the equipment is going to wear out. All these things are going to fade, but your skills are going to stick with you. So focus on that instead. So, with that, until next time, let's make the world a better place by using your imagination. All right. Thank you. God bless.
Somebody help me.